Thomas Kensington, CEO of a major tech company, was known for his success and ruthless leadership. Behind closed doors, however, he had a reputation for making racist remarks and fostering a toxic, discriminatory culture. Aaliyah Johnson, a senior project manager who had worked under Kensington for years, had quietly endured his subtle bigotry and dismissive behavior. As a woman of color in a male-dominated industry, she faced constant microaggressions but had always kept her head down, focused on her work. Everything changed during a high-profile meeting with potential investors. Kensington, in an offhand comment, mocked the accent of a foreign client. The room fell silent. Aaliyah, who had reached her breaking point, stood up, her voice steady but full of resolve. She confronted Kensington, calling out his racist behavior in front of the entire room. Kensington tried to brush it off, dismissing her concerns as an overreaction. But Aaliyah wasn't done. With a calm yet determined demeanor, Aaliyah made a decisive move. She reached out to the company's board, explaining how Kensington's behavior had been toxic for years and how it reflected poorly on the company's values. Aaliyah, who had been quietly documenting the CEO's actions and gathering evidence, didn't just complain. She made it clear that this was a business matter, and she was prepared to hold Kensington accountable. The board, who had privately shared Aaliyah's concerns about Kensington for months, convened an emergency meeting. They reviewed the evidence she provided, including testimonies from other employees, and realized they could no longer ignore the growing problem. Kensington tried to defend himself, but his attempts to deflect were met with cold silence. The board voted unanimously to terminate his contract, ending his leadership and reign at the company. The news of Kensington's firing spread quickly. It wasn't just the firing of a CEO, it was a symbolic moment of accountability. Aaliyah's decision to stand up to Kensington had not only ended his career but sparked a conversation about racism and leadership in corporate America. The media covered the story extensively, and soon, Aaliyah became a symbol of courage and change. In the aftermath, Aaliyah received job offers from major tech companies, impressed by her bravery and leadership. Within days, she accepted an executive position at a leading firm, one that valued diversity, inclusivity, and integrity. She didn't just accept a new job, she used her platform to advocate for systemic change in the corporate world. Aaliyah's story inspired many employees who had suffered in silence, showing them that standing up for what's right could lead to real change. She became an outspoken advocate for diversity and inclusion, calling out systemic racism in corporate environments and encouraging other companies to adopt policies that value transparency and fairness. Meanwhile, Kensington disappeared from the public eye. His career, built on years of success, unraveled in an instant. The company he had once led faced a brief downturn, but the long-term effects were even more profound. Under new leadership, the company shifted its focus toward fostering a more inclusive and respectful workplace. The stock eventually rebounded, but the change in corporate culture was the most significant outcome. Aaliyah's firing of Kensington became a turning point for the tech industry. Her courage brought attention to the issues of racism and discrimination that had been long ignored. The corporate world, slowly but surely, began to realize that diversity and inclusion weren't just buzzwords, they were essential to future success. Aaliyah's actions demonstrated that one brave decision could ripple out, creating meaningful change for years to come. In the end, Aaliyah didn't just fire a CEO, she sparked a movement. A movement that would redefine leadership, accountability, and respect in corporate America for generations to come.